out to allow losers to rewrite history. It's God's side and the other side. Country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good. Okay, bitch, and look like Mr. Potato Head.
I didn't want to be a movie star.
No, you couldn't be a movie star. Ricky Smiley can't act. Cause Ricky Smiley can't act. Why is he in a dress again? He didn't be wanting to Barbie. And you gotta tell him no. Sid ain't got no special, you remember? Eve ain't got no special, you remember? Ricky ain't got no special, you remember? Sir, I have 12 comedy specials. P. Diddy or whoever you is. PDJ, 20 of them. I won't stop burning you down until there ain't nothing left. Rubble on top of rubble and I'll still be bombing. Look like a wall, Richard.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original QueenAShakur show. I'm your host, QueenAShakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. So let's see who is in here. All right. Hey, Juju. DJ Big Six is in the building. All right. G from the land. Terry Hitton. Desmond. All right. Let's get into it. 555 Nola. All right. Perplex is here. Nessa G. Shirley. All right. Shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. And a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they be putting in work. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. But before we do, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so with that all being said, and oh, she also sells beard oil. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. Let's get into it. First things first. Hold on. Okay, so you all know how Trump is always putting up these ridiculous posts, goes on these whole rants and all of that. This is what he put up the White House posted this. Okay, uh, Hakeem Jeffries as the elf. And then they say, we heard it's cuffing season. Okay, bad news for criminal illegal aliens, great news for America. You ought to pay attention. Not only are they just snatching these people up, harassing people, racially profiling them, and all of this, but poking fun at them and antagonizing them as well. Okay? This is the government, the most influential man in Europe. Now, this is interesting because yesterday I just told you all how he was dragging them. Here illegally, the deportation express. Okay, do y'all see this? It's just a whole hot mess. But I tell you what, Governor Gavin Newsom went in on him because just like they posted this, talking about they heard it's cuffing season. Well, Governor Gavin Newsom said he heard it was cuffing season too.
Every time look at a sex game, my kick, the words, my favorite. Can't even only be money say. It's like an earthquake, I'm calling you out.
I sure wish that would come true. Okay, I wish that would come true. Now, so you all see how ridiculous your president is. But anyway, let's get into this. Because what I find interesting is there was a leaked memo, okay, DOJ to list and target anti-Trump activists as domestic terrorists. Now, I want you all to think real hard. I want you all to think real hard and tell me who told you all this was going to happen? Where did you hear this first? Who told you all about 5 years ago that pretty soon the government is going to start labeling those of us who speak out against their nefarious agendas or just against anything they don't like or don't want us talking about? They're going to start labeling us as domestic terrorists. Y'all remember that? Well, here it is. Okay, welcome to reality. Yeah, so the Department of Justice will potentially treat opponents of President Donald Trump's policies as domestic terrorists. This is all according to a leaked memo from Attorney General Pam Bondi. Okay, to all U.S. law enforcement agencies, by the way. The document, which was first published over the weekend by investigative journalist Ken Klippenstein, appears to represent the first attempt to implement Trump's calls to target left-wing activists and others who protest his administration's policies, okay, as terrorists affiliated with Antifa, an anti-fascist movement that often serves as a boogeyman for the right. Now, in the December 4th memo, Bondi instructed the DOJ to compile a list of groups or entities engaged in acts that may constitute domestic terrorism under U.S. law. The memo suggests that Bondi is working from an exceedingly broad definition of domestic terrorism and an exaggerated perception of the threat it poses. And despite the administration's denials, the memo suggests it could target Americans based on their political beliefs, not even their actions. Okay? Do you all hear this? All right, this is all so nefarious, but hold on, because I want you to see the memo, because I took the liberty of finding it. And here it is. This is all so crazy. Let me share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Almost unbelievable, right? But at this point, we know not to put anything past Trump. This is just all a hot mess. Now, Office of the Attorney General, dated December 4th of 2025. On September 25th of 2025, President Trump issued a national security presidential memorandum titled Countering Domestic Terrorism and Organized Political Violence. Therein, citing recent assassinations, assassination attempts, attacks on law enforcement, and mass destruction caused by criminal justice rioters. President Trump highlighted the grave threats posed by sophisticated organized campaigns of targeted intimidation, radicalization, threats, and violence designed to silence opposing speech, limit political activity, change or direct policy outcomes, and prevent the functioning of a democratic society. To combat these growing threats, President Trump directed the federal government to implement a focused strategy to root out all culpable participants, including organizers and funders, in all domestic terrorism activities. This guidance memorandum is designed to further mobilize and advise federal law enforcement on the investigative priorities outlined by NSPM-7. All right. Now, look at all that they have on here. First off, they have defining the domestic terrorism threat. Next, common characteristics of domestic terrorists and organizations. Prosecuting the most serious, readily provable offenses. Commissioning review of prior events and information, identifying domestic terrorist organizations, prioritizing grants to law enforcement partners, disseminating intelligence on extremist groups, leveraging existing FBI capabilities to identify tips that will dismantle domestic terrorist organizations and activities. Okay? This is what they had, this secret documents, and somehow or another, it got leaked. Okay? That's the only reason we know anything about it. All right? So anyway, with that all being said, goes on to say, despite the administration's denials, the memo suggests it could target Americans based on their political beliefs, not their actions. Now, for too long, rampant criminal conduct rising to the level of domestic terrorism, organized doxing of law enforcement, mass rioting and destruction in our cities, violent efforts to shut down immigration enforcement, targeting of public officials or other political actors, etc., has been tolerated, she writes. The alleged perpetrators of these actions are defined by extreme viewpoints, anti-American sentiments, and a willingness to use violence to serve those beliefs. Now, this is all what Pam Bondi said within that memo. Among the anti-American sentiments Bondi enumerates are anti-Christianity, anti-capitalism, adherence to radical gender ideology, hostility towards traditional views on family, religion, and morality, and views in favor of mass migration and open borders. Bondi also instructs law enforcement to prioritize combating these actors and to refer instances of possible domestic terrorism to the Joint Terrorism Task Forces, the FBI-led multi-agency teams that prior to Trump's return to office worked to prevent and disrupt real terrorism at home and abroad. Supporting any of the views Bondi names in the memo, whether opposition to Trump's immigration crackdown or radical gender ideology, is protected speech under the First Amendment. Bondi acknowledged as much, though in a footnote. The United States government does not investigate, collect, or maintain information on U.S. persons solely for the purpose of monitoring activities protected by the First Amendment, she wrote. No investigation may be opened based solely on activities protected by the First Amendment or the lawful exercise of rights secured by the Constitution or laws of the United States. Now, just because she wrote this and says it doesn't mean that's what they're going to do, okay? Because we know that they don't care about the law. We know they don't care about the rule of law. They don't care what judges say. And in fact, they do whatever they want, when they want, and how they want. That's what we do know. She's probably just saying this to make it all sound good. Okay, still, there are reasons to believe the memo may signal a coming assault on protected speech and expression, particularly by progressive activists and organizations. This fall, Trump issued a pair of executive orders claiming to designate Antifa as a domestic terrorism organization and directing the federal government to go after domestic terrorism networks that supposedly fund Antifa. At the time, it wasn't clear what, if any, legal weight the orders would have. You know, it's funny how they can go after all these different groups or whatnot, but they never can go after the Klan and dismantle them. Just thought I'd throw that in, but let me continue. So they say no federal law allows the president to label domestic terrorist groups. Additionally, Antifa is not a formal organization, but a loosely connected network of activists. Bondi's memo appears to be the DOJ's first efforts to set Trump's orders in motion. Several legal and national security experts have warned that Trump and his allies are attempting to use these orders to criminalize organized opposition to the Trump administration or create a pretext to target people or organizations that support progressive causes. Trying to turn this into a communist regime, okay, trying to make it just like China. Please pay attention. I told you all it was coming. Now, Trump signed the orders shortly after the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and other administration officials subsequently claimed that Kirk's murder and other recent acts of political violence were the product of a shadowy cabal of left-leaning nonprofits. They further vowed to avenge Kirk by destroying progressive nonprofits and going after major Democratic donors. Really? In fact, the Utah man charged with Kirk's killing appears to have acted alone. While there is some evidence he was motivated by opposition to Kirk's position on transgender rights, his broader political beliefs remain unclear. Ooh, honey, did you all hear this? This is a whole lot of messiness, okay? I mean, but what do we expect with Trump in office? And things are only going to get worse. Things are only going to get worse. And the DOJ just doesn't seem to want to take no for an answer as it pertains to James Comey. Because they're talking about possibly still coming after him. I find it also interesting. Okay, how crazy is it? Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Now, hold on, because here's a little bit more about that leaked memo. Attorney General Pam Bondi is ordering the FBI to compile a list of groups or entities engaging in acts that may constitute domestic violence. The language echoes the so-called indicators of terrorism identified by President Trump's directive, National Security Presidential Memorandum number 7. That's also known as NSPM-7. Okay, which the memo says it's intended to implement. Now, where NSPM-7 was a declaration of war on just about anyone who isn't MAGA, mind you. Okay, this is the war plan for how the government will wage it on a tactical level. Okay, so in addition to compiling a list of undesirables, Bondi directs the FBI to enhance the capabilities and publicity of its tip line in order to more aggressively solicit tips from the American public on other Americans. Okay, to that end, Bondi also directs the FBI to establish a cash reward system for information leading to the identification and arrest of leadership figures within these purported domestic terrorist organizations. Now, the memo later instructs the FBI to establish cooperators to provide information and eventually testify against other members of the groups. Do you all see where this is going? Because how much do you want to bet this is going to be people just lying on people who look like me and saying all kinds of stuff to get money and whatnot, and just to have another would-be COINTELPRO. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. Telling people to turn in people and then offering them cash rewards. You don't think people be making up lies? You don't think that's a motivation for people to just say things, especially on someone they don't like? This is just ridiculous in my opinion, but let's continue. So then it goes on to say the payouts don't end there. Okay, Justice Department grants are now to prioritize funding to programs for state and local law enforcement to go after domestic terrorism. In a section titled Defining the Domestic Terrorism Threat, the memo cites extreme viewpoints on immigration, radical gender ideology, and anti-American sentiment, indicators that federal law enforcement are instructed to refer to FBI Joint Terrorism Task Forces, JTTFs. Okay, those JTTFs are then instructed to use all available investigative tools in order to map the full network of culpable actors involved in both inside and outside the United States. Did y'all hear this? Ooh, what do you all think about it? Somebody said paid opposition. I find this all nefarious, but let me keep going. So anyway, the memo also directs the FBI and JTTFs to retroactively investigate incidents going back 5 years, authorizing the JTTFs in particular to use everything at their disposal to do so. Now, upon receipt of these referrals, the JTTF shall use all available investigative tools consistent with law enforcement internal policies and statutory obligations to map the full network of culpable actors involved in and referred conduct inside and outside the United States, according to the memo. For months, major media outlets have largely blown off the story of NSPM-7, thinking it was all just Trump bluster and too crazy to be serious. But a memo like this one shows you that the administration is absolutely taking this seriously, even if the media are not, and is actively working to operationalize NSPM-7. Now, NSPM-7 was signed in September, largely in response to the murder of Charlie Kirk, which was a 9/11 type event for the Trump administration, as has been reported. Kirk's assassination is referenced explicitly in the Justice Department memo. As anyone who lived through 9/11 can remember, the government doesn't always think rationally in moments like those, to say the least. And so here we are with a new war on terrorism, only this time, millions of Americans like you and I could be the target, is what it says. Ooh, this is very interesting. Okay, y'all heard all of that. So plotting, all right? This is the plot they had up their sleeves. Gathering intel and information on people, and then if you have radical views or just views that they deem as radical because it's not in alignment with what they want or what they're saying, they could easily say it's radical. And you can be deemed a whole domestic terrorist, which is interesting because Trump literally, pardoned 1,500 terrorists. Okay, those people that rioted the Capitol. Okay, so I guess they're not terrorists. But hold on. This is what I want you all to also see. Now, Trump took it upon himself to ban some words. Okay, yeah, he wanted to ban some words, and he sent out this 6-page letter. According to a new court filing, the Trump administration has a 6-page list of banned words that Head Start locations are forbidden from using when describing their programs. Okay, among censored words are disability, race, women, trauma, and whatnot. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Hold on, beloveds. My screen is frozen. Hold on. Okay, there we go. It's not going to let me share the screen. Are you kidding me? I think I need to refresh. So I'm going to go off screen for a second. Hate when this happens. Okay. Sorry, beloveds. It took me forever to get back in. I was having technical difficulties. Okay, so sorry about that. Now, with that all being said, I have to go back to what I was going to show you. Hold on, give me just a second to pull that back up. Okay, here we go. All right, so you all see this? It says, I wanted to follow up with you concerning your application. I sent it back asking for the removal of particular words, and I wanted to provide you with the complete list of words to make sure you're not in your applications. Okay. I am also requesting a summary of your most recent self-assessment results if available. Finally, I wanted to offer my cell number for those times of emergency or quick follow-up when you're away from the office phone. Okay, I look forward to meeting you and your team. Thank you. All right, and this is U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Now, with that all being said, and you know the name's redacted, who signed it or whatever, but this was sent November the 19th of 2025. Now, here are some of the words. These words right here, I don't understand why they wouldn't want them to say these words. The word black. So what if something is the color black? They can't say the word black. Do you all see this? Accessible, activism, activist, advocacy, advocate. Okay, those type of words. Breastfeed people, breastfeed person, barriers, at risk, assigned at birth, climate crisis, chest feed plus person, bias. This is all crazy. And black. Okay, I find that all interesting. Here are some more DEI. So you can't say DEI, disabilities, disability, discrimination, diverse, disparity. You can't say disparity. Y'all pay attention. Okay. Enhancing diversity, climate science, commercial S worker. I don't know why they would be saying that in Head Start, but this is all crazy. So these are some of the words: gender, gender-based, inclusive, LGBTQ, marginalized, inequalities. Isn't this something? Privilege, oppression, oppressive, racial, racially, victim, women, women and underrepresented, trans, transgender, trauma, tribal, asexuality, status, stereotype, socioeconomic, sociocultural, vulnerable populations, undervalued, underserved. What do y'all think about this? So that's the list. That's the list of words that Trump has banned. Okay? Like I said, some of those words, I don't know why he think that people will be saying that in Head Start anyway. Nene said you can't say your race. Well, if you're black, you can't, because it sure said you can't say black, which is crazy because that's one of the colors that kids will be using in school, I would imagine. Okay. Yeah. So sister said, ban the word black. Exactly. So these are just some of the things that are going on, but hold on. I want you all to hear this video with Governor Gavin Newsom talking about Trump, but also what Ilhan Omar said. Now, I can't understand her language, but it's translated. If what they're translating her as having said, y'all gonna want to hear this. You all are gonna want to hear this, okay? I'm gonna share my screen. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance.
Indulge it. I can't stand the corner. I think Trump is one of the most destructive presidents and human beings in my lifetime. I think this republic is at real risk, this country being unrecognizable. And I have no patience for people that want to indulge it. I can't stand the crony capitalism. I can't stand all these supplicants that are sitting there bending the knee to this president. I can't stand the universities that have done that, the law firms that have done that, the individual corporate leaders that have done that, other governors, maybe Democrats and Republicans that have been complicit at this moment. This guy is reckless. He's wrecked this country. We'll not have a fair and free election if we don't continue to fight. That's what matters to me. Seriously, I'm the future ex-governor. And who the hell knows what happens the rest of my life? Except one thing I know that matters in the rest of my life is I have to look at my kids in the goddamn eye. I mean that. Seriously. That's not like a politician thing. To look them in the eye and say that not a peril of being judged, not to have lived in the moment. I think Trump is the...
Well, he did tell one lie because Trump absolutely is one of the most destructive human beings, presidents, specifically a president, but just a human being in general. Okay, in his lifetime, I have to agree. Now, I want you all to hear this because they're claiming that this lady said that what she said is translated as saying the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. They will do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders. I'm sorry, say what? Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? I find this very interesting. Let's go to the footage. Because if she said that, then clearly they must know something that we don't.
waa wadankii gabar jawaabteeda waxay ahayd dowladda Mareykanka waxay ka qabanaysaa wixii annaga aan dhahno dowladda Mareykanka qabo waa kalsoonidaas inaan isku qabno annaga Soomaali hadii aan nahay wadankan annaga ku nool wadankii aan annaga tax ka dhiibno waaye waa wadankii gabar idinka dhalatayne ee Congress ka fadhiso intii aniga aan Congress joogo wadanka Soomaaliya biyaheeda dad kaleeta iyo badeeda dad kale ma qaadanayaan wadanka Mareykankana kuma taageerayo dad kaleeta in annaga ayna dhacaan marka taas ka seexda jawaabteeda waxay ahayd dowladda Mareykanka waxay ka qabanaysaa wixii annaga aan dhahno dowladda Mareykanka qabo waa kalsoonidaas inaan isku qabno annaga Soomaali hadii aan nahay wadankan annaga ku nool
Hold on. I'm sorry, but did y'all hear that? That's exactly what she said. She said as long as she's in Congress, Somalians don't have anything to worry about. America, the U.S. is going to do what Somalians tell them to do. They're not going to do anything else. And they're not going to let anybody mess with them or something. Basically, did y'all see it? Okay. Did y'all see that? Well, one Somali congresswoman can't take on the entire administration. Excuse me. I don't think she not take on the entire administration. Is that what she thinks? She sounds like she knows something we don't know. I find it all interesting. She said they're going to only do what they tell them to do. I wonder what Trump has to say about that. I can't wait to hear this. Can't wait to hear what Trump has to say about that one. Anywho, let's continue. Because that was a bold move. All right, now, that all been said, the DOJ says they may be filing against Comey again. Justice Department confirms in court filing that it may prosecute Comey again. I don't know why they don't just let this man go on about his business. I mean, is it really that serious? Is it really that serious? And they're fighting, just want to fight this ruling. So Goes on to say federal prosecutors are appealing an order blocking access to the communications of a close associate of James Comey, saying the move was a strategic tool to obstruct their case against the former FBI director. Now, a federal judge on Monday temporarily blocked the Justice Department from accessing seized material from Daniel Richmond exchanges. Hold on, these pop-ups. Okay, exchanges prosecutors relied on in arguing Comey had authorized his friend to make disclosures to the media. A different federal judge recently tossed the case against Comey, determining U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan was not properly appointed when she brought a charge against the ex-FBI director that were resisted by her predecessor. But in the Richmond case, the government argued that blocking access to his emails has effectively enjoined the government from investigating and potentially prosecuting Comey. Richmond's motion is not designed to secure the return of property that he needs or wants. It is a strategic tool to obstruct the investigation and potential prosecution of James Comey. The Justice Department wrote this in the late Wednesday filing. So Richmond's emails were part of the case against Comey brought by Halligan, which argued the former FBI director had lied to Congress when asked about whether he or his former deputy, Andrew McCabe, had leaked details to the press about the 2016 investigation into Trump. Richmond's lawyers on Wednesday said the Justice Department's arguments were revealing. Now, the government has a vast trove of Professor Richmond's personal and professional data and no lawful basis to retain it. Tellingly, the government does not seriously argue that it did not violate Professor Richmond's Fourth Amendment rights. That's what they wrote. Now, rather, it claims that the court must disregard its repeated Fourth Amendment violations because it needs the fruits of those violations to prosecute James Comey. Now, if prosecutors try to charge Comey again, they'd run into a number of other issues. Comey had also asked the judge to throw out the charges, arguing they amounted to a selective and vindictive prosecution. And his testimony in question is now outside the 5-year statute of limitations. Okay, he appeared before Congress September the 30th of 2020. So Halligan's team also tried to bring charges against New York Attorney General Letitia James related to mortgage fraud, with her case also tossed when Halligan's appointment was determined to be invalid. But a grand jury last week rejected an effort by the Justice Department to again bring charges over that matter. Just desperate attempts. Like they're just taking all these L's. Okay, Trump's team is taking all these L's, but yet they still keep fighting, kicking, scratching, okay, and struggling. Like, give it a rest already. Okay. So anyway, with that all being said, moving right along. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. I want to go to this video where a veteran detained by ICE. Hold on just a second. Now, this is just all getting out of hand. Here we go.
Confronted by ICE agents on my way to work. I want you to understand exactly what that looked like. Not because I want sympathy, but because it exposes a crack in the law that must be fixed. I was driving to my job as a security guard at a licensed farm in Camarillo, California. Federal immigration agents were lined across the road leading to the farm. I identified myself as a U.S. citizen and a veteran, but that didn't matter. Agents smashed my window, sprayed tear gas and pepper spray into my car, dragged me out. I was choking on gas, unable to breathe, while officers shouted conflicting commands even after I complied. They pinned me down, one kneeling on my back and another kneeling on my neck, while my hands were already behind me. I was first taken to a Navy base where agents collected my DNA, and after that, I was taken to a detention center and held for 3 days without charges. No phone call, no lawyer, no medical care, even though my skin burned from the chemicals. I wasn't allowed to shower. On July 10th, 2025, I was confronted by ICE agents on my way to work. I want you to understand exactly what that
is also nefarious. Okay, that is absolutely nefarious at the end of the day. Just doing people so dirty, okay? But some of y'all don't care because some of y'all said, oh, they're immigrants. I don't care. You should always care when people's rights are getting violated, okay? You should not want anyone's rights violated. And then if one person's rights are getting violated, then everybody else's rights can get violated too. All right. This is just not good. And then bothering innocent people, harassing innocent people, citizens, getting deported, all kinds of crazy stuff. But I told you all this was all going to happen. Okay, I told you all it was all coming, and here we are. All right, here we are. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Now let's talk about David. Let's talk about David. Get to the latest update. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go. Now, this is from TMZ yesterday. Record exec appears before grand jury. Why didn't you call the police? He was asked. So the president of David's touring company was grilled Monday by a deputy district attorney in front of a grand jury on why he didn't call the cops. The grand jury is hearing evidence in the death of Celeste Rivas. TMZ broke the story. LAPD's robbery homicide division is considering David as a suspect, and what it says is an apparent homicide. Now, Robert Morgenroth, the general manager of Mogul Vision, David's record label, is also the president of Zara Brothers Travel, David's tour company. And so they say they've learned that Morgenroth testified all day Monday before the LA grand jury. And at one point, with a half a dozen people in the hallway, Morgenroth came out into the hallway and was talking to his lawyer loud enough so others could hear. He said, referring to Beth Silverman, the deputy DA presenting the case before the grand jury, she was very pushy on why I didn't call the police. That's what people heard him say. He went on to recount how he responded. I said, I feel like I didn't have the responsibility to do that and just wanted to continue the tour. We do not know the time frame of the tour to which he was referring. But David was on tour when Celeste's body was discovered in his Tesla, which had been parked near the LA house that he was renting. This underscores that David is squarely in the crosshairs of the LAPD and the LA County District Attorney. So this is all crazy because you mean to tell me he knew something about the body being in the car and didn't tell? Okay, I know I'm missing something because I haven't been keeping up with this for the past few days. I'm going to have to do a deep dive. Hold on. Here's a report right here. I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. This is a sad story. I just don't understand how the parents didn't have the police, just didn't keep calling the police, or just, did they have an Amber Alert out on her? I can't even remember.
General manager of singer David's record label has been questioned in front of a grand jury in Los Angeles. The jury heard evidence tied to the death of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. Her remains were found in David's impounded Tesla in September. TMZ has learned that Robert Morgenroth testified yesterday. In addition to being general manager of David's record label, he also runs the artist tours. Witnesses say he walked out of the courtroom talking about his experience on the stand.
Mr. Morgenroth, when he walked out of the grand jury, was in the hallway in downtown Los Angeles at the courthouse, a very open hallway where there were, from what we're told, about half a dozen other people in the hallway, and he was speaking to his attorney, speaking loudly enough that others in the area could hear. And what he told his attorney is that she, referring to the deputy DA who was doing the questioning, she was grilling me about why I didn't call the police. Now, we don't know what he had said before that to the grand jury that led to that follow-up question of why he didn't call the police. What he told his attorney is that he said his answer was I didn't feel like that was my responsibility to do that, and I just wanted to continue the tour.
Investigators have not confirmed whether David, whose real name is David Burke, is a suspect in the case. They have said that he is cooperating.
The Celeste Rivas Hernandez case involving David. This is something that's baffled so many people. Her body was found in the trunk of his Tesla.
Right.
There have been many questions. Is he a suspect? So I'll just ask you, is David a suspect in this case?
Yeah, that's a case I won't talk about at this time because it's an ongoing case. To do so would potentially jeopardize the case. There was some talk, too, about our request to keep the information confidential that the coroner was looking to release. And our goal there is not to impede transparency. All of this will come out eventually anyway, but to try and not get ahead of the investigation. Information that's put out ahead of the investigation then potentially jeopardizes our ability to be able to identify and interview witnesses and bring justice to a very important case.
Okay, well, you know, I hope they solve the case. I mean, it seems like David did it just from all the evidence they've compiled thus far. At the end of the day, I mean, who else had a motive? Okay. This is just this case is really crazy. And how long was she missing? I forget. I have to go back and look at the other videos because she was missing, reported missing by her parents. I don't even think the police really took it serious, just like they don't take it serious most often when teenagers, you know, go missing. Most of the time, they just list them as runaways. Dorada said, you can see the innocence in her face. Yes. And the people that are saying, you know, they thought she was 18 and 19 years old. She clearly does not look 18 or 19. Okay, she doesn't even look 16. Okay, so I definitely think that these people that were around him knew that she was underage. Okay, I'm not buying that they didn't know. So with that all being said, let's continue. Let's continue because let's talk about Shedeur. Everybody is still going in about Kevin Stefanski, but now they're dragging Dillon Gabriel's girlfriend again because she made another comment. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to go to a video of a couple of people talking about Shedeur and somebody speaking about his girlfriend.
Shedeur.
Dillon's girlfriend, shall I say.
Shedeur.
Shedeur?
Why Shedeur?
Cause first of all, no disrespect, you feel me? He come from our complexion, bro. Like, we gotta support a black brother. Second of all, he the most hated on, and he's still popping his, you feel me? He throw his wrist up, perfect timing. And then his father, like, he come from the background of football, so I feel like he was made for that position, especially at Cleveland. Cause what? After Baker left, we needed a quarterback.
Exactly.
You feel me?
I do think she's wrong. I think most people, not just on the team, in the community, people in the church, people, older people at the bingo, they want Shedeur to play. Yeah. They do not want your man, is it her man?
Fiance.
Even better. They do not want your fiance playing at all.
Said, I don't think she's just making that information up. I think that's what coming from that's coming from him. Yeah. In my opinion, that might be pillow talk. Like,
it is.
Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
is
like
pillow talk.
You gotta go.
It's obvious.
Where's she get it from?
When Shedeur makes hold up. Football body language.
Yep.
When Dillon does good, they cheer him. Hey, good job, man. Great job. When Shedeur do it, the whole team doing this. They do, like, you can see it. Yeah. Every fan, every little kid. We came from college, and you know I'm better than you. Shedeur look at him like, you. I know they draft you. You know.
Like, be for real.
So when we get to the playing field, I can't even look at you the same. I can't even respect you the same. I can respect you as a teammate, but I can't like you starting over me because you know better.
Yeah.
That's why they can never really. And he's like, well, so what? I got drafted first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why they never could coexist. But the truth is, it's a matter of like, what do they call that? Where it's like levels.
Hierarchy or what?
The hierarchy. Dude, you know I'm better than you. I've always been better than you. Don't let these coaches from Cleveland who's been bad for years, picking and drafting, confuse you.
Yeah.
You know we never was on the playing field the same level, ever. So why would we change? Shedeur always thought he was a starting quarterback no matter what team it is.
Correct.
Don't let little Gabriel get you confused.
Happy game day. Today we play the 49ers. My fiance Dillon's not playing. I have thoughts about that, but I'm not going to share it. So let's get ready.
No. Please share. What are these thoughts you're having? See, listen, for the people that don't really understand what's going on, this is This is the fiance of Dillon, Gabriel, right? He's now he's a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, right? Everybody knows there's a lot of drama between Shedeur Sanders and him because they're both trying to get the #1 spot. And right now, Shedeur Sanders is the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. So his girlfriend is, she's throwing a couple shots at Dillon. Now, this is how it's crazy. Because Dillon, he wouldn't get so much hate if it wasn't for these slick remarks that both y'all make. And she's under her TikTok comments, like replying to comments. Like she was better off being quiet. But yeah, so people already hated Dillon because Dillon said like some slick stuff in his conferences too a while back. He goes, hey, if you wait for the perfect timing, you'll never be ready. And he knows, Shedeur's famous line is perfect timing. So you see, all these slick little things. That's why we stay on his butt. Cause you just making it worse. His PR team is going crazy right now.
Okay, I find it all interesting. She just can't keep her mouth shut. Okay, now this clip is Shiloh clowning Shedeur because it looked like Shedeur was wearing a thong the other day.
Let's cut to the business, bruh. Did you wear a thong or not?
Come on, bro.
What's going on with you, bruh?
You forgot I had a little back injury, right? So I get my back taped. But that is crazy that it did look like that. That's funny, though.
Nah, fam, I know you're not gonna do nothing like that, bro. You Shedeur, bro. You the star quarterback for the Browns, boy.
That's back tape, bro.
How do you feel playing a good game? And then everything just gets shadowed by your thong.
Shiloh is terrible. Okay, so that all being said, that's right, so sister. Okay, so that all being said, anyone have any questions, comments, snide remarks before I roll out of here? Buckhurst DC said, "Don't nobody block Mike. Let me have some fun." Who is Mike, and what did Mike say? Is Mike trolling? See, he said 10 is suspects. Okay, anyway, I'm out of here. Listen, I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. Like, share, subscribe. I'll be back later. Okay, I'll probably be back later about 7. All right, so that all been said, I love you all to life. Enjoy the rest of this day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing
for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got